Cheers and happy Homebrew Wednesday. This is my latest iteration of the Czech Pilsner. And I like this one, I really do. And I want to talk about a couple of things today. First one is about this. Second, what I'm brewing next, and then a little purchase chat. So, Czech Pilsner, basic Bible recipe, straight down the line, everything as it is except the yeast is Novolagi yeast, as you would expect. Now, bitterness is what I want to talk about. Bitterness and perceived bitterness. Now, I watched, don't know what that is. Oh. I watched Rusty's video. He was talking about the SARS and he was talking about bitterness and how smooth bitterness he feels comes from using leaf hops. As he said, we all used to use leaf hops as bittering hops and then T90 pellets for flavouring, and we all changed. I went to T90s. Personally, for reasons of it's just so much trouble, soaked up so much beer, there was so messy, it was so difficult to get rid of. I had to bag them all and then bin them. I do remember watching Harry Brew, one of Harry Brew's early videos when he had the original brewery, where he blocked the drains for the whole of the sort of industrial estate where he was based, and he had to spend the day cleaning that out. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of leaf hops. Now my take on it is that this is quite a smooth bitterness. For a Pilsner. Compared to the first one and the other one I've got on. Bear with me, and I'll get a drop of the other one. Now this is a little different because it has a touch of citra in it. However, I think it stands, the citra was added sort of at flame out kind of thing. It was only 5 grams. That's quite clearing nicely, that one. That's starting to clear, that one. This one's only been in the keg for 2 days. I kegged it yesterday. It's a bit of a strange one, that, because I don't know what happened with the session. I clicked on the session on the fermenter to run, thinking it was my usual that I'd set for Novolagi yeast, which is 5 days at 15, bump it up to 2 days at 18, drop down to 4 degrees, maybe 6, depending on how it copes in here. I try 4 for 2 days, and so I put it thinking I'd done that. I'd set it for 15 days. It did 5 days at 15. Then it dropped to 30 days at 12. But I didn't let it do that. 2 days in before I realised it was at 12. And then I bumped it back up to 18, where it was for 2. Then I tried to put it at 4 for 2 days, but it was struggling. The heat was in here was too much for it to be able to drop, so it was sitting at 6, and so I left it at 6 for I think 4 days and then kegged it, shook it 30 psi for 3 minutes, and it's still there. Good head retention on that. Yeah, it's nice. Whereas this is the original one that I did, the one that I fermented in the keg itself because it was such a fuck up. Now the bitterness on this one, obviously it's about a month in, but I think the bitterness on that is more pronounced still than it is on this one. This one's a bit more jagged. You can tell the bitterness is there, kind of thing. But it's smoother. It's a bit smoother. Now I think that is to do personally with the alpha acids. Yes, that's how you do bitterness, I know. But bear with me. This one was brewed with SARS. I think we're about 4.6% alpha acid. This one was brewed with SARS at 2.6% alpha acid. And I think that change in alpha acid quantity affects the smoothness of the bitterness. I think that's what's altered the smoothness for me in this. And these are both T90 hops. The leaf hop thing may just be a thing as well, but it may be because the leaf hops are usually a lower alpha acid anyway. That may be why. I mean, I don't know any of that for sure. This is purely anecdotal. It was just an observation I made brewing it. If you're a chemist, you know what you're talking about more than me, which is very easy to be. Knowing more than me, I mean, about things like this, not to be a chemist. I don't know, but it would be easy to be a chemist than me, because I was shit at chemistry. By the by, I wasn't interested. As my chemistry teacher said to me one time, Mr. Anderson, if you spent more time concentrating on the subject rather than drawing rampant penises on other people's textbooks, you may make a chemistry professional. I just enjoyed drawing the rampant penises instead. So, that's my take on Rusty's observations on smoothness and bitterness and how he thinks the leaf hops has done it. And I'm saying I think leaf hops themselves are usually a lower alpha acid than a T90, because I think the T90s are more concentrated, aren't they? So I think the alpha acids are lower, and I think that's the thing, because I'm noticing it with the T90, a lower alpha acid in there. I may be completely wrong, as I say, it's purely anecdotal. Moving on from that, we're set for the next brew. I'm doing tomorrow. So this was the Pilsner, which I then kegged. There's probably about that much Pilsner sat on top of the yeast cake. And it's a bit warm in here, I know, but I will get it poured out tomorrow, and then it'll be kegged. And then I'll be dropping, a new beer onto it tomorrow. And it will be a Helles. Bear with me, I do have the recipe. It's pretty much the recipe out the Bible, basically. So it's Pilsner 2 row, 4.38 kilos, Carapils, 0.2 kilos, Vienna malt, 175 grams. Then I didn't have the hops, the Mittelfrüh, I think it is, to do the hopping, but I've gone with Tettnang, because it's what I had. So I've got 35 grams of Tettnang at 75 mils, because it's a 75-minute boil, and then 28 grams at 5 minutes, because that's how it worked out to get the IBUs. The full IBUs are 16.9 with 14.66 at boil and 2.24 at the last 5 minutes. So you get a final IBU of 16.9. Original gravity is 1.046 with an estimated 1.006 final gravity. That is because of the fact that I've said it's 2 packets of Nova Lager. It's probably a lot more, but we'll see how it goes. Which supposedly would give me 5.2%. It doesn't need to be. The original recipe, I think, is 4.9. So there's a bit of leeway here to see how it goes. And EBC is 6.7. So that's the recipe. That's what I'm brewing tomorrow. All being well, everything's prepped. Got all the hops done, got the malts done, fermenters ready. Just need to make it, and I'm planning to do that in the morning. So that's yes, a Helles. I want Helles. I've enjoyed Helles. I was enjoying it for a while. The 4 Point Brewery one they have in Lidl, and The only thing is, I've now started to taste. There's like an apple, a green apple taste to it. I've started to notice, certainly on the ones I had recently, and now it's all I can taste. It's all I can think of when I taste it is this green apple taste. So, brew my own fucking Helles, because I do like a Helles. It's nice. To be honest, it was between that and the Dortmunder Export in the book. The only thing that changed my mind was the fact that the Dortmunder Export has added end of boil hop edition, which for me, I tend to use that as an 80 below 80 degrees. I usually do 75 hop stand for 20 minutes, so, or 10 minutes. I think I've reduced to 10 minutes now, but anyway, it was just like an extra extension on the brew day that I thought wasn't necessary. However, I will be looking at maybe extending the brew day, and that is because I've been reading a new book. I bought a new book, another new book, I know. However, this was a find in the charity shop, Oxfam, for 99p. Brewing beers like those you buy. And in here, it's quite interesting. There's some quite interesting brews in here, to be honest. There's Fuller's ESB, Fuller's London Pride, Theakston's Old Peculiar, and Pilsner Urquell as well. And that was what I was looking at. And one of the things a few of these have, like the Pilsner Urquell, there's Foster's Lager, there's all sorts of stuff, is that when you come to mash for this, you get the temperature of the water to 45, then add the malt. While stirring continuously, raise the temperature to 55, let it stand for half an hour at 55, and then raise again to 66. Leave for an hour, and occasionally return the temperature back to this value. Because this book is like from, actually originally written in 1978, so it's an old book. Old methods. So I thought I would do that with the mash, the slow rise with the mash tomorrow, the Helles, just to get an idea what kind of things. Start at 45, add the mash at 45, then raise it to 55, leave it there half an hour, then do the normal mash. It's asking for 65. I might raise it percentage to 66. Do that for an hour, and then obviously you do the 75 wash, which it does have something similar. It's saying add hotter water to rinse through the grains, because it's doing sort of grain. It's not boiling in the bag, is it? You know what I mean. It's doing brewing in the bag. That's the one I'm looking for. Brewing in the bag. It does brewing in the bag was its style from 78. So it's always been around as a style. Yeah, so that was today's. I just wandered into a charity shop. I often wander into the charity shops in town and have a look for cookbooks. There's a lot of the cookbooks I've got, even a few of these barbecue books I've got over here, I got them in the charity shop. Barbecue books, cookbooks. I've got a shit ton of cookbooks in the house, but the barbecue ones obviously come out here, and the brewing ones. I've quite a few brewing ones I found in the charity shops. Obviously, I've said a few. So, yeah, that is what I'll maybe altering the recipe tomorrow with. Doing get the water to 45, add the grains, raise to 55. Once the grains are in, sit for an hour. Half an hour. It was half an hour at 55, then raise to 66 for an hour for the Pilsner Urquell, but I'll be doing 65, which is what this is wanting. Hell is. I'll go from there. Should be interesting, shouldn't it? Something different to try. And we'll see how that works with the mash. And another comparison with the Czech Pilsner, which I don't have one of my original Czech Pilsners, was that the water. Pardon me. Obviously, I altered this one let's look at it. It's gone flat. That's still got a nice head. That's just gone flat. That could be the glass, but I think it's just the way it is. The original Czech Pilsner I did had a lot of water, rainfall. We'd had a lot of rainfall, water was coming, the rivers were full, and we used river water. So I wanted to know about the different minerality and stuff. This one was brewed before the thunderstorm, so there wasn't a lot of water in the rivers. They're quite low. Well, they are quite low anyway. It's been dry for like nearly 2 months, hasn't it? Reasonably dry. I mean, it has rained, but not a lot. There hasn't been much wash-offs, so I don't know whether that alters the minerality in the water, or because there's less water, the minerality, or whether it stays pretty much the same. And this is the beer with little water in the river, and I have to say, it's about as bitter as the original. It's a smoother bitterness, although it's more lingering. It is more lingering back end, but I have to say, I couldn't tell them apart. I probably should have saved one. I don't know how to do this experiment really. Do one now. You know, it's one of those things. It's a kind of experiment I can't really do, I guess. It was a thought, wasn't it? There's too many variables, I suppose. Like I say, with the leaf hop, with the hops, the difference between the hops and these hops. But anyway, it was a nice idea. And I guess on that note, I don't have any news for you. I was gonna start doing this, adding a little news thing at the end, news segment of something I know, but I don't, because it's only been a couple of days and I've been busy at work, like rammed. As I usually am, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Wednesday afternoon, I'm fine. I'm off. I'm busy doing stuff here, but I haven't had time to watch anything or see anything. So there, Christ, 17 minutes. Well, happy Homebrew Wednesday, guys. That went well, and I've got this far. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.